Shall we have a look in the...
Yes.
I do like...
Shall I pick one?
Do you remember I read in How to Be an Alpha Male that an alpha male would never do the drum fingers.
That's the main sign of being beta.
That's a very beta move.
What's the alpha male equivalent?
I don't know because I looked to the internet for advice, and all I found was Vox Day, and I learned that I too am a Sigma. So I don't know what the correct drum technique would be. So
for an alpha.
Yeah, maybe maybe
Oh, I think it's the music box from Fistful of Dollars. Da, 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 da. I'm doing it. Is it a few dollars more? Or is it?
I think that the general advice from the crowd was just smash the box with your fist. Oh, is that what that song is? I've only just understood what you were talking about.
Okay, so
you open the box.
This is what everybody wants. We've got the opinions.
When he said we should be cultured thugs, I don't know if he was... okay. Well, would you like to pluck an opinion?
They're all stuck together because they're on post-its. I like this one. It's got neat handwriting.
What was that Chesterton quote? You know, a conservative would just not try to recreate. You just leave this kind of... the ashes of Western civilization stand shattered before us,
Well, I'm shaken by fellow panel members here.
We have some very neat all caps writing. I don't know what it... It's an angry writing. True democracy has never been tried because all democracies today are really plurocracies, i.e. first past the post plurality voting, and thus are not majority rule.
Got the re at the end. What about Switzerland?
Not my opinion.
Whose opinion? Who will admit to having that as their opinion?
There's an actual ancient Greek in the crowd.
Who is the democracy mole among us?
I'm not writing in. I use a pen. No, I type.
Will nobody admit to this opinion? Where's that elusive, undercover Guardian journalist? Show yourself. Show yourself. All right, another one.
Oh, it doesn't matter who the opinion comes from. You gotta... Right?
I only want them to show themselves for having the audacity to write that in.
You pick one.
This is the problem of anonymity, right?
Go on.
Okay. There is no God-shaped hole in society. Instead, there is a yearning for shared purpose and community. I feel this one's personally attacking me.
It was also in all caps, but your voice does not allow for shouting, I believe.
Everybody's writing in all caps because they were very passionate at the time they put it in.
I think our resident handwriting expert will tell us.
Did David Lammy write both of these post-its?
I'm still shaking from the display of masculinity.
I don't know what you expected. I should have just stroked the top of the box and waited for it to fall off.
There's shards all over the table.
Somebody will hoover up later. Not me.
Well, who wrote that?
Is that going to follow every chat?
Oh, no. If you,
Take it up with Morgoth, is what we should say.
Talk about skin in the game.
Yes, Talib.
I want you to say these words to Lambda's wholesome.
Yeah. Until you look me in the eye, we won't dignify it with a response.
His lily considering face. Where are? No? Okay.
By the way, I am Lambda, just to be clear. No. Should we do another? I feel. One quick one. All right. Do you want to read this one?
There's one under the chair. There's also a bit of a few ones.
I think I got it.
Tattoos are a creatively dead art, never having developed past the anchor.
Somebody at this room, other than me, has a tattoo of the symbol Lambda, which I take as a great compliment. See?
Is it a Half-Life tattoo?
No, it's not an actual Lambda. That's why I'm the real Lambda and he's not.
I am Lambda. I mean, if you're the real Lambda, watch this. Consider the lilies of the field.
All right. I think it's...
Yeah. Swap out.
So, before we get going, Columba, welcome to the show. How did you process, both emotionally and intellectually, Carl's several acts of kind of unscheduled, unapologetic atheism today?
How did I process it? Poorly.
I think you should tell him what was going through your mind.
I'm listening.
I think Carl perhaps has a too rosy view of Old England. I think perhaps he underestimates the extent to which that separatism that he celebrates has been the cause of much discontent.
May I ask the origin of your accent?
Of what? My accent? You're doxing me live.
I think nation state is close enough. It's fair.
Have you got 23me on you?
I mean, the Chinese probably already have all my data. Who knows, you know? I had a Huawei for a year.
Probably putting reference to the fact that this man is from Scotland, not from England.
Yes.
I mean, does that make a difference, though? Do you think the Scots...
Oh, did the Scots have a bias against the English? No.
No, I mean...
Perish the thought. Who would ever suggest it?
In terms of the temperament of the people, do you think the Scots tend towards being more kind of like... more preachery, more kind of hardcore when it comes to their religious zeal? The eternal Anglo.
I mean, I grew up in the capital where it's pretty hard to find anyone with religious feeling these days. But I do think Scottish people have shorter tempers, perhaps, than the English. Of course, I'm an exception to that rule, naturally.
Notice how I don't even have to say anything other than where are you from, and he starts confessing.
Well, that's the Catholic in me, you see.
But this is how the English want everything, you know.
We should introduce Evelyn to the show. Welcome to the panel.
Hello.
There was a lot of talk about technology at the event today.
No.
I know that you're one of the chief most enthusiasts of a certain...
I did lead a battalion in the insurgency, yeah.
But I mean, you particularly like, a certain...
Uncle Theodore.
Everybody's favourite uncle.
Yeah. As opposed to everyone's favourite other uncle.
Everybody's favourite other uncle, yeah. Well, I mean, there's Uncle Ted, there's Uncle Jared, there's many uncles. There's the forbidden uncles.
It's uncles all the way down.
Forbidden uncles.
Uncle D, of course.
Uncle D. There's something quite disconcerting about
Couldn't
that.
be with us, unfortunately. But like, how do you come down on that? Like, Pharaoh basically tried to weave a third course with this suggestion of bespoke kind of technology that deliberately doesn't interface with the rest of the world, which I found fascinating.
I found it fascinating as well.
And I hate it. I despise the computer programmer response to that. But I was wondering how do you think that meshes with the kind of Uncle Ted framework?
I don't know, a different opinion. Sometimes it's sort of a nuanced understanding of not using technology that makes you dependent on other systems or other people, but also considering at times just smashing the clocks and just going all the way back.
Yeah.
Just destroy it, like full Luddite.
Just everything.
Destroy.
I mean, I will say, when the carrot pill controversy was at its height, I feel like the position might have been mischaracterized in the heat of battle.
Don't you mean mischaracterized?
But no, I think it's absurd. I think full Ludditism is unrealistic. But of course, I mean, naturally, right? But I do think people like Ted are definitely onto something when they critique technology and the sort of repressive atmosphere that it creates. I think that's a wise criticism. It's a question of what the solution is. And hence Pharaoh's fascinating talk.
By the way, can you guys make sure there's the mics to the audio?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Well, I was going to ask, Carl, when it comes to the technology, the view is that one of the drivers of progressivism is the perpetual need for greater efficiency, time saving. So the question is, if you're on board with full steam ahead tech, why don't you join Tony Blair? Because that's his. I mean, in all seriousness,
That's a great question. Really well framed.
In all seriousness, that is and has always been his vision of the world. That you have. There's a steam train, not a steam train, carbon neutral. I don't even know the technology, but there's a next generation tech train that runs on, Leon burgers. We have to get on board with it, otherwise we're going to be left behind. So is there a position between there's the full out Ludditism, there's the kind of deliberately inefficient non-universal tech that Pharaoh was talking about, or there's the globalism? Can you stake out any other position when it comes to tech?
No, I think we're going to go full Luddite.
Full Luddite.
Yeah. I don't know how you're going to sell it to Mrs. AA, but I think you're going to have to figure out a way, man. But I mean, I don't know. Ted Kaczynski actually makes some really good points about he does about the industrial technological society remaking man, right? Because then it's eventually going to make people who actually can't live outside of it, and so when it collapses, man, it's going to be bad. So I'm not a big fan, but then I don't really want to join Tony Blair. So.
Would you take the opinion that we might already be there? That collapse or a total sort of anti-tech revolution is really the only two possibilities towards some situation that isn't, actually living in the Matrix pods?
Bloody hell, I don't know.
At least you're honest.
Well, I don't think there's any stopping the march of technology. That's the thing. I think it is a big fantasy. People are like, oh well, we'll just retard our development and end up like the Zimbabweans when the British turn up and they haven't even got the wheel. It's like I don't think that's going to happen, and I think it's wishful thinking. So.
I mean, the way things are going, I mean, that's the argument that I heard tossed around is, oh, well, we won't be able to protect ourselves from a national security perspective. I mean, we're already under attack, under siege, right? I mean, the way things are going.
So what, throw away our guns?
Well, I mean, what guns?
Touche. But I don't know. I just don't think that deliberately trying to turn the clock back technologically is going to work. How the hell are you going to persuade everyone who's addicted to their iPhones? Be like, you know what, bin those.
Well, luckily we don't go in for the marketplace of ideas. So you force the people to get rid of their phones. You take their phones.
I think they will literally eat you raw before giving up their iPhones.
Well, maybe.
We might get what we wanted.
Okay. Let us, while we have this version of the panel, let's do some opinions.
You're gonna sully your fingers with the.
Pick an opinion from the ashes, please, Evelyn.
I've got two here. The Trumpton vision will fail because the distant right enjoy being men among the ruins too much.
I do think when people were talking about optimism and Samuel gave his talk on utopian visions, and I think some of us instinctively recoil because I know it's a meme. Spengler says optimism is moral cowardice, but I'm pretty sure Peter Hitchens has talked about how pessimism is not just a kind of an outlook; it's a kind of it's an entire disposition on life that is part and parcel of being the reactionary. And I was thinking, I was talking earlier, I've been thinking for ages about writing a book called The Prophets of Doom. Declinist literature through history, starting with Cassandra and Jeremiah, Bible fans, Jeremiah. But then, you forget about there were writers, we were talking about Carlyle dreaming of the 12th century ABBA. But if you go to the 12th century, there were medieval German writers saying, if this place is going to the dogs, if only we could get back to 800 AD. So there is this kind of strange.
They did have a point there.
There is this kind of strange thing, though, that there is it's a kind of mode of being in the world, and I even wonder, listening to Lambda read bits from the Bible earlier on, if it's already there in the Bible, literally the people. They're in the Bible, and they're still saying, this fucking place is lost. We're all going to the dog. So I do wonder if it's just if you say, the archetypes of man, this mode of being is just part of, what being, on our side of things.
I don't know, there's this interesting sort of thing you could actually say there about the Bible canon, whereby if we weren't amongst the ruins, there would be no sins for Jesus to die for.
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah, very good, yeah. That sounds... Are you Scottish as well?
No, I'm from Spain.
We have to discuss the SQ one day as well, because, everybody talks about,
That's an anti-Scottish canard.
Yes.
But have you ever noticed that the Scottish massively over-index when it comes to inventors, writers,
Slave owners. I had noticed, yeah.
Politicians, not just Gordon Brown, but a
Winers.
certain dark lord went to school in Scotland,
good point.
famously.
I'm hearing a lot of Seaman.
So I'm just
Not enough coping, yeah, you're right.
I just find it that is interesting.
Yeah.
So many. Anyway,
Do we really want the doom pill, though? Are you really going to be look, AAA, the world's shit.
No,
Good luck on your first day of school. You probably get bullied. You're not going to know anything. You're going to feel like a fucking idiot. We can't put that across, right? A positive vision for the right. We're all fucked. Everything's shit and you're going to die.
I find
We've got a Bible. Fucking a letter. Jesus.
I just do find it interesting, though, that they're the doomer through history, essentially. Even if you go back to even pre,
There have been pessimists in prehistory. No way.
Hellenistic Greece, this place is already going to shit.
All philosophy is basically just a letter to entropy.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically true, yeah.
You end up probably even the sophists were lamenting a time that were better.
Age of Heroes, Age of Gold, Age of Bronze, all that. But I do think it's an important realization. I think most Christians should feel this way.
You need to hold the mic up, man.
Sorry, but it is a fallen world. I think that is a key part of Christian teaching, and it doesn't mean that you shouldn't do anything or that you should just go to the pub and weep every night or something. You should still try. That's the message that you get. But,
Why? Why should I? If the world's shit and we're all going to die, why should I do any of that?
I do think that this is an important philosophical and moral and, even psychological thing.
So don't expect answers.
When Douglas Murray starts The Strange Death of Europe, and Douglas Murray's a lovely writer, and he starts with saying, Europeans have lost the tragic sense of life. The sense that all of this could be lost, the sense that things weren't always like this, and they won't always be like this. I.e., a sense of just what it is to be in history, and history isn't positive. It's the fallen, it's the Thomas Sowell, the conflict of visions.
What was it that Tolkien said?
The utopian vision for the left, and the tragic vision for the people who are on the side of truth and all that's good in the world.
So is there no heroic vision?
The
man who couldn't open the tub, I suppose I'm asking.
Let's do another opinion.
Lambda, is there heroic vision?
Let's do another opinion.
Feel the energy coming off.
Oh, this is a good one. Freedom of speech and the press is neither feasible nor desirable. Some books need to be burned. I'm really looking forward to that being clipped out of context now that I've said that.
So note the framing on this. Who wants to claim that based and amazing opinion? Skin in the game. No.
Careful now. Disavow.
I have a feeling that this is yet another issue on which Carl may disagree with Evelyn and Pastor Scotty here.
You've been tack-feared from the Scottish race.
Am I correct in thinking, Columba, that you agree with that opinion? And am I correct in thinking, Carl, that you disagree with that opinion?
Yes, you are correct in thinking that I disagree with that.
Let's hear your reasons for disagreeing. Then we can bring in, flanking on the right and left, the Scots to BTF votes.
There are... What, you just want me to make arguments for freedom of speech?
Well, okay.
Do I need to do that?
Is there
Feels
any
very 2015.
circumstance? Is there any circumstance in which burning a book is acceptable? There must be.
What is the purpose of not burning, let's say, White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo?
To read it. Okay, so the main problem with this is it demonstrates a massive fragility in the author's own opinion of his own ideas. If you're terrified of white fragility, then you are essentially saying, she's right, I can't take it, burn that book. And
that book's fine.
Oh, okay. That's a weird flex. White fragility good, but what?
Sexual Behavior in the Human Male by Alfred Kinsey.
I can't say I've read that.
Well, it has a very well documented pedophilia in it.
Okay.
Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, burn that. Yeah, burn that. Yeah.
Can't it stand as an example of what not to do?
No, because once you've broached these questions, you already lost.
Once you've broached a question, you've already lost.
Yes.
So if I ask a religious person, prove God exists, then they've just lost.
No, not that.
This is asking whether or not children can enjoy certain activities. And frankly, anyone who asks that question should be...
It's just weird that it's on your mind.
You know how it is,
We don't even have a leftist in the room and it's still coming up. How is that the case?
You're the leftist in the room.
But I'm not the one asking the question.
But the whole issue with the freedom of speech stuff is that it becomes very obvious that you are clamouring from outside the system, demanding that they put your speech up there. The only thing you might get out of that is that you become inculcated in it.
I'm not demanding they put my speech anywhere. I'm saying don't censor me.
Why?
Well, why not?
Why not?
Because it's my
But
speech
Carl,
and I don't want to be censored.
But they are going to censor you because they're your enemy and they don't like you. They want to shut you up.
Yeah.
They will censor you, and so surely you got to.
So it's
fight
okay
back.
when they censor you.
Sorry?
So it's okay when they censor you.
No, it's not. It's okay when I censor them, and it's not okay when they censor me,
Thank
because
you.
I'm right.
Thank you. So by that standard, you have abandoned moral consistency, making you...
How so?
What do you mean, how so?
Well, I mean,
It's okay when I do it to them, but not when they do it to me,
Yes.
and you don't understand why you've abandoned moral consistency.
I don't understand. I mean, it's.
Have you read the Bible?
Well, I'm pretty sure the Bible.
Do you know what the golden rule is, Mr. Christian?
The golden. I'm pretty sure.
You are Vorsh. You have the moral standards of Vorsh.
I'm pretty sure.
You unironically are Callicles.
I'm pretty sure I'm not the one arguing for preserving certain texts that promote certain unusual sexual proclivities.
You're arguing that all morality comes from power.
That's all it boils down to.
That is what it boils down to, yeah.
The moral consistency
For you?
is for us amongst friends, but you don't have moral consistency for your enemy. Why? It's your enemy.
Why don't you just start chanting orcs, orcs, orcs?
By all means, let the enemy speak.
all right. Let's put it this way: you're the men.
What matters is what they say.
You're the you're the men of the West. Shall we ban orcish literature? Shall we ban Saruman's secret texts of dark evil? Shall we throw the bloody ring into Mount Doom? Or do we give a fair platform to Sauron, Saruman, and the orcs? That's literally...
We have to give Saruman the ring, because otherwise it would be unfair if we wore it.
I mean, it's like, even uttering these ideas in our society has a corrupting effect.
Okay, Vorsh. But look, seriously, right? I want to know what they think.
Sorry?
I want to know what they think.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying that you burn the book for everyone. Again, I think this might be your Enlightenment principles. I can keep the book, but if someone else wants...
Hang on. Are we burning the book or not?
We burn the book when they try and mass produce it and give it to everybody. I can keep a copy so I can rebut it. The same way.
So the answer is we don't burn the book.
We burn the majority.
No, you're saying we don't distribute the book, which is fine. I can agree to that. Maybe there are some books that shouldn't be distributed. I can't think of one, but maybe there is such a thing, right? But I don't think that we should burn the book just because we're afraid of it. I mean, how that makes us look so pathetic.
I mean, you read the book first, then you burn it.
But if the ideas are so dangerous, aren't you infected with them too?
Sorry?
If the ideas are so dangerous, aren't you then infected with them too?
Well, no, because we're tens.
So well done. You're as bad as the government.
I don't think so.
Come on. Let's,
Well, what do you want me to say? I don't think we should be burning books. He thinks we should be burning books.
Let's finish this at the end. I need to bring on a new panel. Thank you very much. Give a round of applause, please.
Read an opinion. Ooh. Pink, orange, or white, ladies and gentlemen?
White. As if you had to ask.
There will be no democracy. Impose your will on the audience, Mark, please. Just choose.
Yeah, fuck off. Joe Biden is not part of the boomer truth regime as he is older than the boomer generation. Thoughts?
It's true.
This is supposed to be... I don't know if you're understanding this. This is an unpopular opinion stream.
You might say he's in the boomer truth regime, but not of it.
I have a theory that all of these, like, not the based ones, but all of like the really you know, the ones about democracy and that, and they were all written by the man who gave me this subversive literature.
Well, Alexander Adams.
Get out.
No. Was that you? You see, I can detect the subversive pen of Chris. I've received enough super chats from him. I can detect his sinister style. Would you like to pick an opinion, Maven?
I will say first, Lambda owes me a new Tupperware. All right.
You know, I hate Tupperware. And Mrs. AA and her mother continually buy Tupperware. Okay? So I'm going to have to go now.
The TQ.
Every day I open the fridge.
Once.
Here's some macaroni with peas and sweet corn for AAA. That was yesterday's lunch. Here's some like, you know, mashed up chicken or whatever it is that babies eat. Literally 14 different. I was like, are you ever going to eat this fucking stuff in the Tupperware? Ever? No. Tupperware exists, I swear, just to irritate me. Like, what? Why? Do you know, I once wrote a play called Decay, based on my hatred of Tupperware. I'm sure I've told this story before in parts, right? There was a guy doing his PhD. He'd been doing his PhD since 1982. This was in 2004, 2005. His topic was the border politics of Eastern Europe, and obviously they kept on changing. So he basically just never. It's like, oh shit, Yugoslavia doesn't even exist anymore, you know. But anyway, this character every week would bring a Tupperware full of like pasta with onions or couscous, whatever it happened to be. And on Monday, he'd bring it into the middle common room and he'd put it in the fridge. And then on Tuesday, he'd come and he'd have a little bit more. And on Wednesday, he'd come.
I'm sorry, mate. This is the most boring story you've ever told.
Well, on Thursday, he'd come and he'd have a little bit more.
No, don't take this the wrong way. I don't think this is an indictment of him, but you're all listening.
On Friday, he'd come, he'd have a little bit more. It would reach Sunday, so it'd been a full 7 days, and this fucking guy was still eating the same meal that he'd put in on Monday. It stank. It was rotting.
And it was you.
So anyway, I did what anybody would do and wrote a play about him called. It was called Decay, and it had. I had this idea that he was given a cake in 1982 to celebrate, like his parents were proud of him to do a PhD at Oxford, and they're basically like, if you can imagine, like stop motion camera, all the students would come, like sped up, and they'd drink and they'd go and they'd come and they'd go, and the years would pass. And his cake would get more and more rotten, like Miss Havisham out of Great Expectations. And he was wearing the same clothes, and it would get progressively more like stained with the stuff from his stupid Tupperware. Anyway, sorry about that. I had to get it off my chest.
This feels like an incredibly personal story that has affected all of us deeply.
Yes.
You finished the opinion now.
Yeah. What is the opinion? Sorry. Yeah.
Go on.
The opinion is, Britain is a doomed society to be abandoned. As I look ahead, I am filled with much foreboding. Like the Roman, I see the river Tiber foaming with blood.
Which one of you was that?
I mean, you're welcome to move somewhere else.
Is your last name Powell?
Yeah, I recognise that. I recognise that quotation. Was it one of the ones of you who doesn't have hair, perchance? Or no? Was it you who wrote that? No. Okay. Panama hats. giving us opinion.
You're not going to do the Rivers of Blood opinion?
No.
There are rivers.
We had that one. About that.
What kind of unprofessionalism are we dealing with here?
Have you ever been on the show before?
I don't know if you've noticed, but several
times. We've had this one too. I don't.
Who puts these back in?
Who's been writing?
Confusion and delay.
All right.
Lambda.
Goals/visions shared by all factions of the dissident right are bland, uninspiring, and cannot galvanize a motivated coalition.
All I'm going to say is you haven't heard my speech tomorrow yet.
So, could whoever wrote this tell us what their vision is, and we'll see if it's bland, uninspiring, and kind of.
It doesn't matter because whoever comes up with whoever's actually going to implement a new order won't give a crap about what shared vision of the right thinks. They'll just actually implement it. So we can discuss this, but ultimately we need to become the people who can actually step down and create something new.
Well, one of the things that the left do really well that is interesting to me is that they just fucking do something. Right. Much like how Lambda just smashed that. And they're like, now what? What are all you going to do? We've done it already. What now?
It's the unabashed ability to do what I would call push the button. We are a network of, for lack of a better term, schemers. People who plan. People who are interested in things. I mean, a few years ago, I know some of you may be offended to hear the word liberalist. But at one point, I was running the Liberalist UK. And one of the things which was a real surprise to me was we had a huge number of people who were willing to plan. They had ideas. They were really engaged. They were well read. But when it came to things as simple as let's book a venue and run an event, they wouldn't push the button. The leftist doesn't necessarily need to push the button because, of course, they've got dozens and dozens and dozens of NGOs funded by, people like the Dark Lord himself and others, and who are saying, "Come along, join our culture, join our community, join our mission to save the world." And that is what captures the youth, and it's one of the things we need to do.
Even the Dark Lord, he came. See, I'll give you a good example. If you contrast the manner in which the Dark Lord conducted his first 3 years in office versus the manner with which David Cameron conducted his first 3 years in office, or Boris Johnson, since he's, Tony Blair came in and literally before anybody could even catch their breath, he'd already smashed the box, fuck the House of Lords, and everybody's like, we were just singing D-Ream, like, what's going on? And we're still reeling from the punches he threw. David Cameron comes in, gay marriage, because it's a conservative value. But they just don't act, they react. And I mean, I don't want to sound too Fed poster here, but, one of the things that has inspired me in recent times was the story of when Mussolini was just like, I was a little bit, he was just like, right, we're going to torch down your newspapers. Now what? But see, he acted, and now there's a new situation, and I think there's a kind of power in. I mean, Carl asked me about heroic will. Heroic will, in a way, is the ability to just say, we may have not even worked out all the T's and the I's. Maybe this is going to be a colossal failure, but we're just going to fucking do it, and let's see what happens. But Panama hat, you're looking quizzical.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be the antithesis of this. We shouldn't do this. We shouldn't do this. I don't want to misrepresent myself as that. But I would say that you mentioned Tony Blair. I mean, he swept to power on such a wave that, I mean, he could have done anything he wanted. I mean, I've heard...
He did.
Well, exactly. But I mean, he could have, like, for example, I heard somebody talk about how apparently it was on the books that one of their ambitions, but they didn't do it because they knew it would probably annoy the plebs too much, was to abolish the monarchy, for example. They didn't want to just go for the House of Lords and what was left of the aristocracy. They wanted the whole bag, so to speak. And he just had such a momentum he could do that. Whereas David Cameron, I mean, obviously, even if David Cameron did have a massive wave of power, he probably wouldn't have done anything with it. But, he didn't have that. He had a very dark moment in the recent years. It was the economic crash. It was uncertainty. Conservatives returning to power after God knows how many years.
Yeah, but even then, with the whole plan for austerity and everything like that, he didn't do anything with it. I mean, everything that was austerity in name only, which is one of the reasons why the left is resurgent.
Well, but I mean, if the Conservative Party had the anti-progressive force in it, or if it had a genuine will to save Britain from what it's become, then they would have, they wouldn't be the Conservative Party, but I mean... Yeah,
Conservatives will...
Right, David Cameron wasn't the man I was talking about.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is, if you had a populist type... If the Conservative Party was the Labour Party in reverse, they would have done it, but they're not, are they? Of course David Cameron acted like he did because it's progressivism driving the speed limit.
Boris, right? Instead of, we joke about, time bandits, 8 o'clock, day one lasers. But literally, right, he should have been 8 o'clock, day one. We're going to fucking abolish the Supreme Court because we tried to prorogue and that woman with the spider,
I
came
agree
from
with
nowhere. Why? Instead, it was 8 o'clock, day one. We're going to ban boycotts of Israel. Yay! I mean, what the fuck?
Well, I mean, maybe that tells you something about what they're really trying to do. I mean, this isn't a party that wants to sweep to power and enact a load of conservative or anti-progressive changes.
It doesn't help as well. I mean, aside from the fact that the Conservatives, just because of the way our election cycle works as well, essentially if it happened within the last 2 election cycles, they then want to conserve it.
Exactly.
But they also don't have a particularly engaged youth element, as in expendable bodies who are willing to throw themselves on the pyre for the cause.
I mean, right. No, but look at this, though.
I'd like to throw them on a pyre.
Look how stupid they are. At this event, we've seen engaged young people who've come of their own volition, unconnected to the old establishment right. I don't know, Samuel gave a paper, I think he was 22 years old, great paper earlier on. He set up his own, he edits the magazine. All those people are probably, I was moaning about the frame of reference only being Harry Potter. I mean, they're probably all of that generation. But still, the fact of the matter is they're doing these things. And that's wonderful. But have the Tory party even once tried to engage with that or be like, oh, this is some cool stuff that's happening. And if they did, they'd come and wreck it, basically. And this is an issue because when Peter Hitchens says that the best thing that could happen is for that party to be destroyed, I mean, they really are our true enemy, I think, rather than
Do you not see them in some regard, calling back to Alexander, I'm just steelmanning you here, with the Alexander's argument earlier that they're not part of the floodplain in some regard?
No, they are the flood. They are. I mean, let's face it here. Apart from the 13 years of Blair, they've been in power since 1979. The ashes happened under their watch, basically. In fact, the government of this country is the Tory party, interspersed with, 5 or 6 years of Labour to come and wreck things. And then it's they're the de facto, and this is why I think, again, I mean, I don't know, was calling Moldbug names earlier on. But from the British, that was you, right? But I think from the British point of view, that inner outer party analysis doesn't quite work because the Tory party are a different beast from the GOP.
Yeah.
It's like they're not they are the machine. Like the Tory party is like the outer party and the inner party all at once, with Labour just doing the stuff that they're not prepared to do because it will lose them too many votes.
They're not the inner party because they can't think. The inner party is the ones who make the decisions, and I don't think Boris Johnson has ever made a decision.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, but who knows what interest they? How much time have we got, by the way?
Well, we can go a bit longer.
Okay, all right. Let's do one more opinion. Come on.
You can read it. You want to read one?
If I must. Oh, there's a PTO here. That. Come on, PTO. Who was that? It's like being back in school. Just a little note, PTO. Lovely. We have not achieved anything here except the sense of community, and that we need some sort of creed. Where do we go to turn this into action?
I think the word "we" there is the problem. Where do
Listen.
you go to turn it into action? You need
Mate,
to start actually acting individually and doing things. So yeah, and even if you do, just leave with a sense of community. That's not that bad.
First off, yeah, the idea that not having the idea of generating a sense of community is half the battle. You need to relate to people. Is it a messy one?
This made me laugh.
Okay, we'll get there. But secondly, as I say, stick around. direct and measurable outcomes and actions to be taken. My talk tomorrow, 10 a.m. There you go.
Cameras off for that one.
It's the only speech I actually intend to upload to other platforms. We'll see.
Yeah, but I do think that action will happen naturally as a consequence of just people meeting each other. Connections will have been made here. Conversations will have been had, and the whole idea of the network of tens is you're meeting people who have done things or work in areas that we didn't even know exist. We've had conversations about potential things that we could do down the line. I've seen, and these are the sorts of things you can't do in a chat room of a YouTube.
Push back on the premise. They're major accomplishments. Despite this and despite this, and these are massive.
Yeah.
Getting everyone to agree these are the problems, that's fucking colossal.
Yeah.
Honestly, you should all give yourself a round.
All of what he said, only less gay. So let's do some more opinion. I find it difficult to do. I have to read this just because it's so funny. Who wrote this on a pink on a pink slip? Somebody's written, "Nuking Pakistan would be an objective benefit to the Southeast Asian subcontinent."
I wrote that, and I'd like to give my father the super chat
Why do you think that?
Well, I mean, it's subversive. It causes all the other countries around us.
Can I just play devil's advocate? Pakistan funded the Taliban, who are my new heroes. So,
I mean, if we take this, it is a super chat now, so we have to take it seriously. To its logical conclusion, why don't we just kill all our enemies? That just seems like friend-enemy distinction, kill everyone, and then there's only the group of people in this room to repopulate the rest of the UK. I hope that you could see the absurdist in my
If you
statement.
kill your enemies, they win.
If we kill them, they win.
That was Justin Trudeau.
Now, does the panel think that there is not the one that everyone is going to say, but do you think that there is a country which
I do believe there are countries, yes.
Not that one. I'm talking about
whatever is about to be said does not reflect the opinions of the Academic Editor channel.
We'll see.
But the event.
Well, hang on now.
Lotus Eater,
I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about anywhere on the Mediterranean. I'm talking about the world here. Okay. Does the panel think that there is a particular country, the collapse of which would significantly alter things for us? I mean, obviously you've got the big players, but is there sort of because thinking of Pakistan, it's not like America or China, but it's a pretty important key in the board.
I'm looking forward to the collapse of France personally.
I second that one.
In all seriousness, Taiwan.
You're saying the collapse of Taiwan? The
collapse of Taiwan. I mean, it will represent a shift in a particular global order, certainly. It was, there is a bit of a meme going around on 4chan at the moment that there's a date when China is going to invade Taiwan. And America has obviously got its vested interest in sort of preserving that. So it would be the initial move in a confrontation of China to flex itself in a way which we haven't really seen since, I suppose, Russia with like the Crimean Peninsula and that sort of thing, where they could just take it. So it would just be a further erosion of the American kind of image as the world police, quote unquote.
Do you think the Americans would, run away?
Yes.
It's less about running away. It's just like the inaction, especially with the current administration. I mean, look at it now.
Can I just ask a question? Is Mr. House here?
Yes. Yes, he is.
You're Mr. House. Oh, I see.
Deeply subversive.
An opinion. A man should either lift heavy or become a trap. The middle ground is for cowards and losers.
What was he asking about me, though, before we went up?
Surely that's you.
Prove it.
It's just the sort of thing you'd say. It was you, wasn't it? It's scrumpy. I mean, how do you react to that? Like, either lift heavy or become a trap, no middle ground.
Benefits me.
Yeah, I mean... What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think the new man will be forged in sun and steel.
Great, all right.
I think you'll make a lovely lady.
Shall I give John Dee a ring?
So, I've got... Should we finish up?
I think we should finish.
Okay, so, is Alex here?
Yeah, I am.
Come, Alex. Come, Alex, boy.
Where did you get that from?
Don't know. I heard it. Some weird, stupid gaming channel I saw once.
Jesus. Why is everyone quiet now?
Well, I'm waiting for you to,
I'm Alex. You don't know me, and that's good. Please don't stalk me. Actually, I wanted to thank all the organizers who made this event possible, and actually the one sitting here, Maven, and Reen, if you can come up here on stage. Where's Steven? There he is. Where's Tom? There he is, yeah. Because we've had a wonderful time. Yeah, get up, man. There he is. I'm sure we've had a wonderful time so far, and we're gonna have a wonderful day tomorrow. And before we all leave tomorrow, Sunday, I wanted to give them a special gift. We've all contributed, and we really want to give you a very, very warm thank you for organizing this. I mean, I think I speak for everyone if we say it was wonderful so far, and it will be even better tomorrow. So in honor of Scyldings events, we've got some nice, beautiful Highland Park for you guys. So please, drink responsibly.
Now, I know this is a lovely moment. But while you're still here, Alex, I couldn't leave this go just with you giving them this gift. I have to relive the genesis of this present.
Oh, no.
When you seriously suggested, what should we get them? Shall we get them some flowers and chocolates? I was like, what? Who was with it? Was it Lambda or Columba?
No, I think it was Sargon who was.
Oh, it was Sargon.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was like.
I said it was gay.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
Who doesn't like flowers?
Has anyone ever received flowers as a man? It's weird. I mean, I was given flowers.
Oh,
I
shit.
was like, thanks.
Yeah.
But so anyway, we're like, let's,
There might be a surprise for you tomorrow, man.
And look. Look at what they've done. The network of tens. Look at the network of tens. Look. So that's,
But I think you have to turn it the other way around, actually.
yeah, because it's got tens on it.
Yeah.
See, it's good. So yeah, give
A
him-
was like,
give
dude,
him another round
10.
of applause. Another round of applause for him. No, I want to ask, is there a person here who goes by the name of Jamal? That will be you. Well, I don't have anything actual physical to give you, but I wanted to inform you in front of everyone here, because some of the lads some of the lads put in an awful lot of work to make things work in the deepest lore. They got the whole like matrix up and running. They do incredible thing. Like I set up a Telegram, and within a day they had a bridge to the matrix server, which is incredible. So
They kicked John D.
They kick John, but they do an awful lot of stuff, and also have to put up with the fact that like I've been trying to ban him for 5 years. So I just wanted to let you know you are the. I've been talking to JG, and he wanted to set up like the J Green River, scholarship of eternal appreciation type thing. So basically, you can pick any course you want. You can just have it from the academy to help just as a kind of token of my appreciation for Jamal. And every once in a while, we'll do this for the guys who basically put in like thankless work, have to deal with an enormous amount of spurgs as well. So, yeah, so all right, so get out.
See you in the bar.